Hello friends, my name is Deepak and I'm going to be your host for today's tax segment of our show. I have a special guest with us today who can help us with our tax questions, and we can sure use some tax tip during this tax time of the year. So please welcome with me Sanjiv Gupta. Sanjiv Gupta has practiced as a chartered accountant in India and has served the San Francisco Bay Area community as CPA for last several years. His tax radio talk show on 1170 AM and 1550 AM are very popular among Indian community. His office provides strategic tax services, financial consulting to individuals as well as small businesses. Sanjeev ji, welcome to our show.
Thank you, Deepak ji. Today's topic, because it's a tax time, I want to have some pointers towards the tax filing tips for a person like who is coming to the office or who is doing on his taxes on TurboTax. What are the tax filing tips? First of all, accumulate all the documents you have in your folder or online or from your company website or from bank websites. Don't forget to download all those things, like for example 1099 interest and W2s, 1099 dividends. All those documents are important. If you sold some stocks, a lot of time we have seen IRS is sending notices for people not disclosing their stocks because either they forgot about it or they just ignore it. So we receive notices. The notice is CP 2000 from the IRS saying that we are missing this one, you're missing that one, and you owe penalties and interest on that. So do be careful. If you have sold some stocks, please go to the website of the broker, maybe E-Trade, maybe Ameritrade. Download the transactions from that brokers like 1099B. In recent scenarios, in recent tax scenarios, they are giving the cost basis also for the stock. Report that cost basis. If the cost basis is not reported on the 1099B statement, because they might have been purchased from earlier years, you have to calculate that cost basis by looking at the check you made for purchasing it, or contacting your HR department to get the stock basis for the basis in that stock, so that you can calculate the capital gains properly. Recently, IRS has changed a lot of things in that area. There is a Form 8949 reporting requirement. There is a separate disclosure requirement of the stocks. So they want to make sure that you're calculating the proper stock basis for if you sold some stocks. So you're calculating the proper long-term gain, short-term gain on the sales. That's one area. Now coming to the very popular segment of the offshore reporting, you have to accumulate all the interest income that you have in foreign accounts and report that on your taxes. That's very important area. The IRS is vigilant on that, very much vigilant. That's top number one in the hit list. So and make sure that you report that interest income. Or if you sold some stocks outside the US, in any country like India, Australia, Canada, make sure that you report their sales. And also there is reporting requirement if you hold accounts more than 100,000. If you have balance in those accounts more than $100,000. Married filing joint or single having a balance in those account $50,000, there is a form that needs to be filled up that goes with the return. So that's important part. If you have any rental property in the US, you need to report that the cost basis properly with the date of acquisition of the property computed properly. Then in case of any other filing tips, I will say just accumulate all the things that you have: mortgage interest, 1098B, charitable contribution, provided you have educate documentation. If the contribution is made more than $250, any other if you paid any estimated taxes, you can look at a check of how much you paid for the taxes for the year. So all these things needs to be so the good word is documentation. Look at the documentation. Don't miss out. If you miss out, the IRS will contact you, and then you can call our office. We can always help in that area. What are the last minute filing tips that time?
Well, thank you for helping us out, Sanjeev ji. Those tax tips were great. I'm sure our viewers can learn a lot from them. So friends, if you haven't filed your taxes, this is a good time to do that right now. You can call Sanjeev ji at his office. That number is 510-825-7560, or you can visit him online at sanjeevcpa.com. I know it's a last minute, but we still have a couple of extra days to file the tax return. So definitely give him a call. Once again, that number is 510-825-7560, and his website is sanjeevcpa.com. But don't forget, we'll be back around same time next week. So till then, goodbye.